I'm back. So, yeah, like I was saying earlier, I was just checking in just to see what everybody was up to. See what everybody was up to today. I'm off today and trying to go live a little bit here and there, a little bit more until I can figure things out. So I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can anybody hear me? Okay. So I just want, like I said, I'm sitting here on my porch. What I wanted to talk about though. Oh, hey, Miss Baker. Okay, somebody can hear me. I was like, oh my God, ain't nobody can hear me. I'm glad you can hear me. I hope you're doing well today. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to check in for a little bit. I'm not gonna be on here a long time, but I had something that came across my social media, and this may be a little old, but I don't know if anybody else heard about this, about the twins with the jointed head, Abby and Brittany Hensel. Miss Baker, have you ever heard about the story about them? Okay, well, if you haven't, I'm going to read this post and elaborate on what I wanted to say about it. It says Abby and Brittany Hensel, conjoined twins, had to pay separate college tuitions at Bethel University, where they earned degrees in education. They took separate exams, had individual GPAs, and now work as teachers. And now work as teachers. The two on one body shared the same responsibilities: walking, speaking, and managing the classroom, earning just one salary. But yet, they actually had to pay separate tuition fees in college. I thought that was so unfair. And I was just wondering if anyone else heard of the story and what do y'all think about it? Because I think that's crazy that they both had to pay separate tuitions to go to college, but when it's time to actually go in the workforce, they only can get one salary. That's crazy. I'm like, yet they're gonna have two separate tuition bills to pay, but one salary to pay for it. I don't know. If it was me, I would probably have to tell them, look, she's the dumb head. She don't want to go to school. I'm the only one going to school. That would be me. It sounds crazy, but that's what I would say because I just wouldn't do that. That's crazy to be able to have to do that. And they both went on to get married. They both went on to get married, and the guy that got married to, of course, legally you can only be married to one person. So he had to actually get married. I think it was to Abby on paper. She got married to Abby, but they both share the same body. That's just a weird dynamic to be married, to someone with jointed heads, and you're only married to one of them. So sometimes, we think our problems is big, but when you think about the issues that other people have, you have to be thankful because their problems are much larger than ours. Their problems are much larger than ours. So it's best to just not complain. just best not to complain. I mean, myself, I try not to complain too much about things because someone always have it worse than you. Always. Always have it worse than you do. And I'm not rich, but I'm okay, you know. So, Miss Baker, what you got going on today? I was over there by Road Ridge Live, a little while ago. I just said I'm just gonna just hit the live button. In the words of Sis, because I can. But yeah, I really have nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. I started to go by the gym today, but I didn't feel like going. So I'll go back tomorrow. I'm off on today. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that story about the twins, just to kind of get other people's thoughts on what they thought about it. Oh, it was something else too I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you guys remember when Steven Jackson, the NBA player, last year he was supposed to be getting married, and at the altar he left his fiance at the altar because she did not want to. Um, she didn't want to sign the prenup. He left her at the altar, and I wanted to find out how does everybody feel about that. Me personally, I don't disagree with him for not wanting her to sign it because they work hard for their money. They do work hard for the money that they have, and you don't want to just give it away. But I do feel as though that should have been a conversation that they should have had before that time, so you won't have to go through all that just leave her at the altar. They should have already had that conversation, but they didn't. But the article, let me see, I have the article here. Let me see if I can read it. It says former NBA player Steven Jackson once made headlines after he left his fiancee at the altar because she refused to sign a prenup. He had been asking her to sign the prenup for months leading up to the wedding. She kept stalling, saying she'd sign it later. Fast forward to the wedding day, still no signature. He even brought papers to the venue with his lawyer, just in case she changed her mind. She didn't. So instead of going through with the ceremony, Steven Jackson called it off right there in front of everyone. He later explained that he was raised to protect his assets in marriage. And marriage is a business, as such as it is love. If someone can't honor an agreement before a wedding, what happens after? Whether you agree or not, it's a wild example of how important communication and boundaries are, especially when money and commitment are involved. What do you think? Was he right to walk away, or should he have compromised? You know, like I said, I wouldn't have gone as far as it went, as far as going to the altar, but you can't get mad at him if that's how he feels. If he feels as though he wanted her to sign to protect his assets and his children, he had that right to do that. But that's something that could have and should have been communicated beforehand, before he actually get to that point. So it is what it is at this point. But I know she was one upset, unhappy bride. I'm surprised she didn't try to sue him just to get some of her money back for the wedding. Mhm. But I'm just sitting here, y'all. I'm sitting here on my porch, just chilling. Yep. Um, I'm not gonna stay on here too long. I was just checking and see what y'all were up to on today. I may decide I might cook something and do a live video this afternoon because I'm not a big talker. I gotta actually have something to conversate about. I'm not great at making conversations, so I would need to be doing something while I'm on the live. But I appreciate you, Miss Baker, and whoever else checked in for checking in. Hopefully, I'll be going live again, and I can see some more of you come through.